cash bounty match. We're here playing some ChampionsTCG. We're throwing some cash on this, $20 a game. So I'm gonna be playing ranked. Come on and join me. And yeah, we're live at ChampionsTCG.com, and we'll get started with some ranked games. Gen 2. I'm playing a stock list that is from Pro Tour finalist Jacob Wilson. It is just a recent tournament Gen 2 list, so I net decked this. See how I do. Probably play 2 or 3 games.
Your game has started.
Alright, we're in. Alright. I'm not sure. I don't know this person, Alex P. So let's go ahead and pass on turn 1. Give me a shout out how it's looking out there. Looks okay, right? Okay, my opponent played the White Lily and attacked me with Snowbeak. That's a good turn. So they definitely know what they're doing. We'll play business, get the double greed there. Draw. Probably going to die to the Snowbeak attack, but that's okay. Opponent's taking their time to think about it. I don't think the opponent knows that these are $20 bounty matches. Just because I'm not used to seeing this person in the Discord, so maybe I did announce it in the Discord. All right, they attacked me for 4. Yeah, that's what I would have done. Okay, so I could kill the Snowbeak with my Fearon. Of course, that might backfire, but I can kill it with Speedy. Probably attack for 2, kill with Speedy, yeah. My opponent has 6 cards in hand. We'll go ahead and do that. Speedy survives, business gets in for 2. I wasted a mana there. I could have played out Amy or something like this, but we'll see. My opponent did nothing on turn 2, but played the White Lily on turn 1. I'm not sure how I like that play. I do like, if you're not going to play anything on turn 2, why not just, you're wasting your White Lily for 4 damage at that point. Yes, it could be relevant at the end of the game, and but you can't see that far into the future to know whether it's wise to make that trade right there. Alright, so we saw Mechwing come down. I think it's, considering the target here, don't want to Mechwing the business that does draw a card. It Mechwings itself. So maybe the opponent, sometimes when I see opponents do that, they think that they can Mechwing their own White Lily. And when they realize that they can't because it has that, it's sort of like guard. It can't be the target of things, so oftentimes that is not something that opponents are expecting if you're trying that for the first time. So they'll often Mechwing the Whirlwind the Mechwing back to their own hand, just to use it on a later turn for a little more value. Seems like it makes sense. This turn, it does make sense for them to use that Mechwing now on the Woofa. Maybe I should have thought about that and not played the Woofa. Obviously, I knew that the Mechwing was in the opponent's hand, but then Shadowfang comes down for 3 mana, and then Baba, turning that Shadowfang up into a 7/6. So that was a pretty good turn. That is still in Firon range, so I can also Ignisteal. Let's see, what would I do? If my Ignisteal backfires, I take 6, go to 46, and then I attack with Woofa and Business and trade with the Shadowfang. I can attack Speedy on this Baba just right now. I think that's definitely something I'm going to do. Other plan I could have is just attack Shadowfang with Ocho. That's less mana efficient and trades a card. This could backfire, but the risk is worth it. I got there with the Firon, with the Combustion, and pass the turn. So I'm in the driver's seat of this game. My Woofa still has a shield. My opponent hasn't killed anything of mine yet, so I just keep putting champions onto the battlefield. Excuse me. Down comes Snowbeak. Snowbeak, and then Shadowsteel. Shadowsteel could go and get a Gnarler. Could go and get an Icicle. Maybe an Icicle because he played it after the Snowbeak. Not bad. Alright. Okay, what is my strategy here? My opponent has an Icicle and 5 cards in hand. I should just assume that that's what the opponent has. So I want to spend all 6 mana. So that means probably playing 3 mana and then 3 mana. Next turn, I want to play 7 mana, so that's likely like a Ocho and an Ami, maybe? So this turn, probably playing like Woofa Ladacia. That's fine. Woofa Ladacia. Okay, and then line my attacks up. So my attacks are here, probably. Or maybe here. Yeah. Here. Woofa. And then here I can just go... Maybe I'll just go Ami. Cast. Oh, I should have attacked for 1. That was silly. I didn't attack for my final damage with Speedy. Alright, we are live on Twitch.tv. Firing up some ChampionsTCG. We're broadcasting in a portrait streaming mode, so just want to test it out. All right, so opponent played Scaregoat that has Retribution, so it's a good card on this board. I could play out 4 mana and then 3 mana, so I could just try to freeze this Retribution and play around it. That was the opponent's only turn. Next turn, I also have Cryoslice. And I'm also adding to the board a card that gets around Retribution. So, for example, Icicle just fades the Retribution. So does the Woofa, both Woofas. And now I probably want to add something to the board that... that fades Retribution. I don't think it's correct to play nothing on this turn. Yeah, I'm just going to play nothing. The problem is if I play like a Guayince or something like that, then the opponent can rush it, kill it. That kills its own Scaregoat, then that kills the rest of my board. So right now, by sandbagging it, there's the Gnarler. So maybe the opponent didn't get an Icicle, they got the Gnarler when they Wind-Seeked instead of... So I do have this Mechwing now for... I should have thought about this turn a little bit more. I'll probably go Mechwing on Scaregoat, Cryoslice, your Gnarler, drop the shield here. We'll get 8 in on the Gnarler and kill it. And then we'll attack for 10. I should have counted. I don't think... Okay, the opponent conceded. Alright. We'll go back into the ranked matches. Good game, Alex P. Alright, we're going to jump back into the Gen 2 format. gave GG's in the Discord to my opponent. All right. While we're in the queue, maybe take a second to check out some of the champions here. So, of course, we're looking at the Gen 1 champions here. When the champions first came out, I was really high on Eaglon. It has turned out to be a pretty good card. It evolves into Griffeon. I've seen people use that to good effect, but I haven't gotten it to go off myself. One of my favorite cards in all of the game is this Glow Bug. It's not very good, but I just love it. I think it's so adorable. It evolves into this Angeloon, and then I think the Divinifly, which the Divinifly seriously scares me. I don't know what it is, but that little moth-looking thing is frightening. Alright, keep going through. These are the Gen 1 cards. This is one of the best generations evolutions in the game. This is the Monkey, the Uga, and the Uga Chief. They are powerful nature cards, all with Rush. They're on the curve, C2, 4, 6. They're 4, 6, and 8. They each have identical attack and health with 4, 4, 6, 6, 8, 8. And yeah, for a while these were the format defining cards. We see a little less Gen 1 play nowadays, just with the prevalence and heavy emphasis on the Gen 2 meta. But those cards were format defining in the early days. We'll zoom in and look at another quick evolution series while we're waiting here for our game to fire. Gen 2. This is the Tentacutie, like the octopus evolution series. Crackopus Cracklo-Roth. Something that's kind of cool about this this series here, the Crackopus to Cracklo-Roth series. The Cracklo-Roth, I believe, actually was part of the initial Genesis set release. No, in fact, sorry, it was the Crackopus that but let's just show you really quickly the difference between this Crackopus right here, which this thing is, let's face it, this thing is pretty badass. The Crackopus is cool looking art. But now look at the art on the Genesis set. We'll flip it over here so you can check it out. So yeah, just looking at the two here, I mean, that is like a demonic octopus, as if the octopus isn't already cool enough in its ordinary format there with its glowing eyes. You have to sort of, you know, double down on its demonic stare. Instead of just being glowing, they're also glowing red. Also looks like it has some nubbin tentacles like at the top of its, where its mouth would be, that seem like pretty menacing. And also it doesn't really have normal tentacles. It has like spikes. So yeah. All the Genesis cards are really cool. A lot of people don't get to see these because they joined the game. Oh, by the way, this Crackopus, $1,500. These are kind of novelty cards. There's versions of them in the game that are cheaper and that you can use, so you don't need to pay that amount of money just to get the card. It's just, you know, like a novelty, like a flex. All right. We're going to drop out of the queue, and I'm going to rejoin this queue just to make sure I didn't get stuck. But in the meantime, while I rejoin, we're going to take a look at a few more Genesis cards, early day cards. So this one thing that's kind of cool about this card, the Claw King. Again, the prices on these are very, very high. This is like some sort of mecha claw king. You can tell, like sort of similar to the mecha wing that is mechanically, you know, the art is mechanically themed. It has these gears uh, in the underbelly of the claw king. One of the coolest parts about this claw king is that when it was released as a Genesis card, it was a mythic. And then when it was released as a actual champion, let's see if I can show it to you here. The Claw King is a rare card. So it leaves people a little bit confused when they are perusing the market and they see that for some reason the rarity on that card is not the same. Yeah, so here's the Claw King. I'll share this tab really quickly. Oh, it's next to the monkey, so we were kind of looking at it a little bit earlier. But yeah, there it is. You can't really see because this screen is kind of off to the side. But yeah, let's see. See if we can't just pop that out into its own tab and we'll just take a peek at just it. There it is. The ordinary Claw King, you see, looks like some sort of Maryland blue crab or something like this. But it is a rare, as you can see. Unlike this one, the Mecha Claw King, this is a mythic. Also, this is a Mecha Uga, just one of the super coolest cards. Mecha Uga there. You know, the ordinary Uga, it is, you know, very iconically in that family of green, being a nature card, and then here you have this like dark evil, you know, robot version of it. I think is very cool. And we'll go through, do another cruise through of some of my favorite cards here. So that's the Claw King. Let's see, the Cactal Lord. We see a Pinky Bank down here, $2,500. The Scorpio. All these cards were given out for free when the game first launched. It was just to see if people wanted to even begin playing. This is a kind of a cool one, the Demonic Nordy. When I first heard about the game, I thought the Nordy was going to be probably one of the best cards in all of the game. It turned out that it wasn't quite, but for a little while it was played in Standard. The Ghost Crocky, I like this card a lot. Just the art of it, I think, is super cool. In fact, maybe let's just buy a Ghost Crocky. All right. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and get ourselves one of these nice old Crockies. All right, so yeah, we got that Crocky now. We may jump back into our wallet really quick and just double check that it made it back there. All right, so instead of checking out this market, we're going to go right back to our hand cash. Check out our web wallet. I am going to go from my money, instead of my apps or my money, I'm going to check my items. And in the items, I want to check the Genesis Edition items. So there you see I have 16 heart turdies, which is pretty funny. And yeah, I guess I don't think I got my Genesis turdy or my Genesis Crocky. So must not have completed that payment. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I have to complete it. All right, that should be completed by now. So if we go back to our items, check out our items. There it is, the Genesis Crocky. 26 bucks. That's a steal. Crocky, very cool card, early water card. Play it for 2 mana, but I really like that art. All right, so we got ourselves a Genesis Crocky. We're still in the queue. Maybe what I'll do is I will pop out of the queue again. I'm gonna restart my browser here, just in case I am lagging or had some sort of issue. All right. All right. Also, there are some quests, so we could try and see if we can achieve some of these quests here. All right. And yep, so we jumped back in the queue there. And just while we are waiting in the queue, we're just going to take another quick few seconds to cruise through, check out some of my other favorite cards. One thing that I think would be kind of fun is to do like a tier list for the Champions TCG Generation 2 value. So the actual value you're getting for the card's ability. You know, some of the cards that are the best value. So just to be clear, I'm talking about if a card, you know, is really great but really expensive, we might put that in the middle of the tier. But if a card is really great and only costs like 2 cents or something like this, then that would be kind of the highest level of the tier that we are discussing or describing. So we would be talking about, you know, the value for its price. See, like Barry, for example, I love this card, Barry, but this is like a $90 card, whereas Ocho is a better value, both in terms of being cheaper, but also it's actually a straight up better card. Um, Same thing here. Okay, we just started our ranked match, so let's jump over there. But yeah, Business, for example, probably the best card in the set, also only 12 cents or something like this. So I've actually seen a few people that were stocking up on these Business because they think, okay, well, one day maybe you know, this is what you can retire on, is you bought all the Business when they were only 10 cents or something. But okay, yeah, so we're going to jump over to the game action here. All right. Let's see who we're playing. We're playing Big C. It is our turn. We're playing first. We have a Fangs, but there's nothing to do. You don't want to use your Fangs with nothing to curse, so let's pass the turn. Our opponent is playing second, so it's a little bit scary when your opponent has the White Lily and the additional card. By the way, I'm your host, Brett Banfi, Manifestable on Twitter. Follow me, follow Manifestable. Follow me on twitch.tv. I am streaming TCG content for you. Twitch.tv/manifestable. That's my name. All right, so we saw the White Lily come out and Speedy is deployed. Let's see. So I can play my own Speedy and ignore his Speedy. Do I want to do that? What's my strategy this game? I have multiple 5-drops. I think what I do is just play out Speedy and attack the face. Next turn I play Cutie Bug and Fangs and kill his Speedy. I mean, this seems really weak. This seems like not the type of opening start to this game that I want. My strategy is to make sure my combustions don't backfire because I have 2 of them. Down comes Cutie Bug. So I will be able to kill that Cutie Bug instead of this Speedy. Right? But then he can trade his Speedy. His Speedy can eat mine. I also have Snowbeak. Okay, so I have Fangs. Fangs. that drops Speedy to 3. I don't really know what to do. It's not that hard, but somehow I'm not really able to figure this out. I'm not going to do that. I'll just play the cutie bug and bloom itself. I think just having that little bit of I don't know. That was a tough turn. Couldn't really figure out how to play that one out. I'm a little bit out of practice too. I haven't been playing a lot of Champions. Been working in the offices, so it gets me, a little bit out of practice. I haven't played the game in probably about 2 or 3 days. Okay, so we see that Speedy did what I thought it would do and was able to clean up. All right, so I have 8 power on the board. I'm representing putting my opponent's life total to 49 next turn. Also, that was my turn 4. My combustion did not backfire. I drew another combustion. So next turn I will be playing. Okay, so next turn I'm gonna play a 5-mana card. Next turn I'm going to play another 5-mana card and Boop a Snoot. And the next turn I'm going to play another 5-mana card and Snowbeak. So how do I want this to go? I think getting Cryoslice on the battlefield makes sense. And then next turn I'll play Ignisteel, kill whatever they play Boop a Snoot. Next turn I will play Ignisteel, kill whatever they play Snowbeak. That's my plan. And I could draw something during that time, and they may interrupt what I'm trying to do, but that's at least my strategy for the next 2 turns. I want to play the Gua King, so not very good based on what I'm trying to do. So I could play the Ignisteel, fire it at the Gua King, attack the Gua King with the Cutie Bug. My opponent has 5 cards in hand. What that does, that deals 8 damage to my cards. Because now the Ignisteel would be a 6-2, the Cryoslice would be a 7-3. The other thing I can do is try to just ignore this Gua King. This would be, I wish if I had played the Ignisteel this turn, maybe this is why I should have played Ignisteel last turn. Okay, and then play out my Boop a Snoot that I was planning to play. So the problem is my Ignisteel and my Cryoslice are both susceptible to things like Earthquake or Snowbeak or something like this, so that wasn't perfect. I didn't necessarily want to do that, but if I do face some sort of Earthquake or effect, I do have an AMI I can run out. So it's not a... Okay, so instead it was Cryoslice, so I think I can beat Cryoslice. And now I'm on 7, and remember I was planning on playing Ignisteel and Snowbeak this turn unless I drew something. I have Snowbeak, sorry, I have Ice Eagle and AMI. One thing to consider though, What if I play the Ignisteel, and even though I really want to play this Icicle right now, but I try to evolve, then I kill the Slice with the Boopasnoot. Now I play the Snowbeak, get in 4, attack. The reason why I did want to do the other thing, but this way I can try to evolve Icicle. So Icicle will evolve from the Snowbeak next turn, and my opponent likely to try to kill other things besides the Snowbeak. So I will get that one additional card draw, which I'm pretty overextended on the board right now. I have 5 creatures to my opponent's only White Lily. My opponent played Shadowsteel. Then he Windseek, so he could Windseek for the Icicle because I have the Snowbeak on the battlefield. This Windseeker has such a cool effect. Little known fact, in play testing and card design, there's the Icicle, so Cryoslice is now frozen. Windseeker used to let you look at the top 5 cards of your library and pick one, but someone came up with the idea to change it to find the next evolution of a card that is targeted or else draw a card, and it's been that ever since, and it's a very good card. A lot of people love this one. All right, so we will draw a card. Here we are likely to want to get some damage in on this Icicle, so we will draw a card after our freeze here. Icicle will fall to the Ignisteel. Likely, I have 7 mana here. I'm going to get an attack in for 2. I could play the Mechwing and bounce something of my own. I could just play Amy and the Cutie Bug. I could play nothing. I think it's correct to play Amy, but I normally like to try to draw. Maybe I should have played the Bug there too. I guess I'm a little bit concerned about just some sort of retribution or something. Thank you all for tuning in with me. All right, we see Icicle come down, freezing the Slice. Slice is down. Ocho took it out. And that's a pass back. So I can attack for 18-24, would drop my opponent to 10. Attack for 24. It's not quite whoops. That was supposed to attack the Icicle. Alright. And then I think I just play out this. I'll play out the business. So next turn I'm threatening 8, 14, 18, 22, 25, 27. My opponent has an Ocho in hand, so he can kill something like my Ignis Steel or something like that. Which means that 27 minus 6 is 21, so my opponent represents being able to stay alive. Windseeker goes and gets a random card, I think. Down comes the bug, so that's a Bloom Blast combo. The bug blooms the eagle, the blast, and it's just a pass. So I think the opponent is conceding because that's lethal, I think. And there we go. All right. So yeah. We'll do one more. We're going to do another game. All right. I gained 18 ranking because Big C is up there in the leaderboard, I think. Yeah, he's number 14th. I'm number 19th, so I'm moving up there as well. All right. And we are going to do one more game. Guys, thanks for being with me here. Feel free to drop me a message in the chat too if you want to ask me any questions or anything. Otherwise, we're going to jump right back into final game here. Gen 2, ranked.
Your game has started.
And we kick things off. All right, we're back with Alex P. We are on the play. We're going to pass. Business is our play on turn 2. The opponent is playing Glidefin, so that tells me that they're an aggressive deck. The Glidefin will die and trade with the business, so I'm happy to take this chance, draw my 2 cards. My opponent will likely attack my face with the Glidefin. Remember, on turn 1, they played the White Lily into a 2-drop. So hopefully they have a 2-drop. No, they don't. They just have a 1-drop, but that's just as good. That gets 3 damage in and preserves the value of their attacker, this Glidefin. So on 3 mana, I can do something like the Woofa. I could do something like Guains. So sometimes when you have multiple things to do, it helps to just think about how is this game going to go. If I kill stuff on this turn, I could next turn play Snowgaze and draw 2. My opponent has 5 cards in hand. I have double Woofa here, but no Boopa Snoots. So drawing 2 is a interesting prospect for that reason. Maybe what I'll do is I'll play the Snowbeak. It's a little bit not quite mana efficient and takes an extra damage here. But I'll kill the Fangs and hope that I can untap and kill the Glidefin. That'll mean that I have no cards on the battlefield when I play my Snowgaze and will try to draw 2. And my opponent plays white. Does that change things? Ooh, I drew the Ice Eagle. So does that change things? Because if I pay the 1 mana, so let's just say that I attack the white, play the Ice Eagle, freeze the Glidefin. That costs me 1 mana. I draw a card and play the Woofa. The flip side is I could draw 2 and play the Snowgaze. I think I like this play. Crack the white, evolve the Ice Eagle, freeze the Sugmagoo. Then maybe I just play. I should have probably played Firon. No, I'll just play the Woofa. No, I'll play Firen. The reason why, okay, I backfired. The reason why I want to play that Firen is I have this dream in my head that I'm going to draw Boopasnoots, and I will want to evolve those into the Woofas. But it turned out not to be the case. My dreams did not come true. Not only did they not come true, I backfired my own combustion. So now I'm taking an attack for 5 here. I will be at 40 life. The Galefin evolves from... So that Firon on the Galefin ended up being... Glidefin ended up being a big deal because the Galefin wouldn't have been able to evolve right there, but it did because I am bad. So I have a Cutie Bug, so I'm on 5 mana. So here's a good turn to play out like a Gweens. So I can Ice Eagle kill something. Then play Gweens and play the Cutie Bug. And the bug, maybe bloom myself. I like it. My opponent can trade his board down with mine, but then I can play Snowgaze and have a 2-drop. I can play Snowgaze Cutie Bug next turn. Ice Eagle goes down, which I don't really care about because my opponent's going to lose their board to the Gua Prince unless they Mecha Wing it. They may Mech Wing it, in which case I'm in a little bit of trouble. It doesn't look like they're going to do that. Or maybe they will. They have 13 attacker on board. I don't really have any. I have the Ocho, but sending Ocho after a 6/1 Galfin is not exactly the best feeling. All right, so my opponent passed. Presumably I'm going to trigger this Retribution. That cleans the board up, and now I have, like I said, I can play the Snowgaze and Cutie Bug, but I can also play Ami and Woofa. I think maybe I'll just do that. Ami and then Woofa. My opponent's still at 60, so I have not gotten first blood in yet. There's the opponent's own Gua Prince. I'm not as concerned about that one. I can just trade it 1 for 1 with Ami. Down comes Shadowsteel. Likely goes and gets the Gnarler. That's what the opponent did last time that came out. Okay, so I have no Mechwing to return the Gua Prince. I have no Boopasnoot to try to evolve my Woofa. I do have a Firon. Okay, so 7 mana. I think triggering there makes sense. Wait, what if I don't want to do the combustion because it's too risky? And instead I send Cryoslice in. Yeah. And then how about just playing, I was going to play the Snowbeak and attack for 4, but why not just bloom myself? Try and play a little defensively. I could get, what scenario will I get punished for not blooming there? The Glidefin, yeah. Gets to eat the bug. Goes and gets another Galefin likely. So maybe he won't want to kill my bug because he wants to evolve his own Galefin? No, that's not what he does. So maybe he goes and gets another Gnarler. The 8/5 of Sidawing. It is a 5 mana. 8/5. So now I'm on 8 mana. And I also have a Fang, so I can play like 7 and a Fangs. I also want to play the Ignis Steel or the Fyron. Let's just see what happens with this Fyron. I was able to take that out. Now I have 5. I'm going to get an attack in, so I might as well do that right now. Next turn I want to I want to evolve the Ignis Steel, so I don't want to play that. Next turn I can also rush, so I don't want to do that. I'll just play Woofa, and I can get another attack in for 4. And that's the end of my turn. So I'm out of the range of, like, Earthquake. I'm out of the range of Retribution. My opponent... Okay, they played a Gua King. That's good. But also, I'm representing 8, 12, 19, 23, attacking for 23. Mechwing on the Snowbeak. Interesting. That's not what I would have done. Alright, so I still have this. Let's just see what the plan is. Okay, I'm going to evolve the Ignis Steel, so let's just start with an attack here. Should I go for the face? Part of me just wants to go for the face. I'm just going to go for the face. It's probably not correct, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to probably freeze the Gua King with the Cryo Slice. It doesn't mean it's out of range. Oh, I did draw a Mechwing when I evolved the Ignis Steel, so that's important. I do have 3 mana here. I can go like Fangs, Pitcher, Mechwing, Snowbeak, kill it, go. So by not Ignis Stealing, combusting that Mechwing, instead killing it with Fangs and the Snowbeak, I added 6 power to the board and got an additional 6 damage in on the opponent's face, or sorry, an additional 2 damage onto the opponent's face. Because I was planning on Ignis Stealing the Mechwing, which would have dealt 6 to it, whereas I just killed it with the Snowbeak, which only deals 4. So if situations were reversed, I think this is probably lethal. That would have been 2 less damage that I snuck in there. So, but all right, that's it. That's it for our grab Brett's cash bounty matches. We ended up on, let's see where we ended up today on the leaderboard. We ended up in 19th place, and let's see. That's going to be it. We were playing $20 bounty matches. We'll do a couple more of these. Tried to narrate some of my thoughts so you could see how I was analyzing what was in my hand. Spending some time thinking about my turn. Analyzing how the game's going to go. What will I do on future turns. Help me map out what to do on that turn. And then sometimes you just have to flip a coin. You know, the decision could be, 6 one way, half a dozen the other. So you just want to... build into your decision-making process the fact that you're going to be wrong sometimes, and that's okay. It's just a game. All right, guys, thanks for being with me. I'm Brett Bamfey, Manifestable. Please follow me on socials, x.com/Manifestable. I'm here with you, and we will bring you more Champions TCG coverage. We'll hopefully keep a lot of our own cash, but I will make a few more bounty matches.